Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue 5, W. Maxwell Prince writing with Martin Morazzo on the art. So obviously we ended the last issue with Superman fighting Kryptonite Man, who just appeared, Lexi's weird, clone fusion of Kryptonite stuff all in one big package. As Superman himself puts it in his narration, this is the his Achilles heel personified, I believe was the phrase he used at one point. Yeah, it was okay. I have to say, I don't think, I think the first 2 issues of this book were really good, and then I think the 3 issues after have been all just kind of okay for me. I've not been in love with them. I think there's some nice moments, but I definitely, with this one again, after some fighting with Kryptonite Man, and he blasts him with different types of kryptonite, so there's different effects. He goes through the timey-wiminess at one point, he gets really big at one point, so on and so on.
Shrinks back down, has to get his 5th dimensional imp that he helped create, which I liked. All of that stuff I felt like was in this issue. I loved it when Kal-Elf shows up. I really had a fun time with that.
Yeah. I'm
not what it was setting up and what it means to Superman.
I'm not as fussed about Kal-Elf as an idea. When that showed up, I was kind of like, oh, okay, we're doing that, fine, whatever. It doesn't appeal to me as much, and that's okay. The big thing at the end of the issue is that because of all the kryptonite, Superman's effectively get really sick, and Batman deduces that the sickness he has is actually a regular Earth, something that kids usually get. But because Superman's cells are so supercharged and all that, it's actually killing him like cancer. So the end result, the little twist at the end of the book, is that to save him, they basically use the kryptonite to make him a baby, de-age him, because then if he's a baby while he's got this illness, his body will fight it just fine, and then he'll just grow up to being Superman again. Although I assume they'll speed up the process, not just wait for it to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because it jumps forward to a couple months later and he's still a baby.
Maybe it's not gone yet, though. I don't know. Has Superman literally just become the baby that Lois wanted? She's going to raise someone that she's already had sex with? That's a bit weird.
That's very weird, because that's where I felt like it was going, And I was like, so when we got to this ending, I was like, I don't know if I like this.
Well.
But I do like a lot of the sentiment here that it builds up to is what home means. Right. And so I do like the fact that we get Superman telling Lex that that's what he fails to understand. And it's kind of reminiscent of his final speech in the movie about he wakes up and he struggles with everything. But here it's not that. It's home is where the people are. It's where the culture's made. And because Lex doesn't care about any of that stuff, he doesn't care about people, culture, that this entire battle is taking out Metropolis, which is Luthor's home, and he doesn't care, right? And it's that Superman's care for what home means. That's his secret strength. So I do like that sentiment. I just wish it was executed a little bit better. And again, I feel like them bringing back all the kryptonite and everything that we'd seen throughout each issue, it just felt like we were going through almost like a roll call, right? He does like you said, the timey-wimey.
It felt a bit repetitive to me. I was like, I get the idea of bringing them all back in one big fight, but it didn't feel like they were being used in interesting ways. It just kind of felt like we're going through them one by one. And then on top of that, as he's going through the timey-wimey, we're getting, here's a page of him looking up at the Kents as a baby. Here's a page of him, or a panel, I should say, looking up at the L's before he leaves Krypton, and all that stuff. So, it's it's reiterating some of his history again, which happens a lot in comics. There was there's a bit where Batman says he's calling in reinforcements, and I thought the Justice League were going to show up, and they specifically showed when Superman was remembering his life, the Justice League are there, which makes sense because Batman's here. But then it ends up in all the bots from the Fortress that show up instead, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a weird anticlimactic bit, but okay.
There's that, but their point is to fight the Bizarro bots, right? So I wish they had showed up with the Justice League, right? He's getting all the reinforcements.
Yeah.
There,
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Justice League can fight the bots, though. You don't have to have bots to fight other bots. That's not actually a logical thing necessarily.
But again, I feel like Prince, that's what the point that he wanted to get at was, you have the good Superman robots to fight the bad Superman robots, here for the visuals or whatever. And they're carrying a big version, like the effigy of Superman, which I still don't get. I might just be completely missing something there, but why are they carrying the big effigy of Superman into battle? I don't know. It doesn't factor into anything, you know.
No.
But yeah, and it's also in these pages that we get where Superman's talking about when he went to Fawcett City and hang out with Billy and Shazam. They had this, needlepoint art on the wall that had said, travel east, travel west. After all, home is the best. And that's the kind of the aspect that I think ties everything together. We also get this weird pink kryptonite moment, which I thought came kind of, I don't know if it was meant to be levity or whatever, but it didn't land with me.
It's supposed to be funny. It's the idea that pink kryptonite's like a love potion or like Viagra to Superman, where he just starts like, "Hey Jimmy, you look so handsome in that bow tie."
And and that's where we get to the point where like people or what make up home or whatever. So, but yeah, it kind of fizzles out here towards the end because those first two issues I thought were really good.
Yeah,
the time aspect issue and then Kaiju Superman, I thought those were super fun and strong. And
yeah, I think because they felt really interesting and self-contained for the most part, despite the fact that they were connected to this overall idea of testing the new kryptonites. But like it felt like since then we've just been kind of building to like a showdown with whatever Lex is up to, and I don't think that felt particularly unique or special compared to what Lex usually does.
Yeah,
it just feels like typical Lex 101 stuff for the most part. And it's not like Kryptonite Man himself is a compelling villain. He's basically just a Kryptonite walking drone. No personality there. So yeah, it's okay. Like, it's fine. Like, it was a pleasant enough read, but it's not something that I think is leaving the impact. It's not. I think the special story that I think many people were probably hoping it was going to be. Maybe some people do love it, but I think it's just okay overall.
Also, I just realized this too. That the way that they defeat the Kryptonite Man is that Kal-Elf brings up the history about how Brainiac destroyed, put in the what does he say? The AI built to save the planet and betrayed us, right? And then he puts this Brainiac code into Kryptonite Man, and because he's made up of Krypton shards, he explodes. I forgot about that. That was pretty funny. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I don't feel particularly strongly, right? They brought the spreadsheet lady back towards the end for a little cameo, so they wanted to call back to that as well. Yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't know, I just don't feel that strongly about it. For lack of anything more interesting or exciting to say, I wish I had something passionate to say, but I just kind of feel like this was a thing. It's over now, and I'm not sad. I'm not happy. I'm just fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be one of those books that you're like, oh yeah, we read that. That was decent enough. And then you'll remember the little intricate parts. You're like, oh yeah, that was weird. But again, I'm not upset that I read it because at least there was a point to it all. I feel like what Prince was trying to do, it maybe didn't excel completely, but there's at least a story to tell that made me feel something. So, but yeah, I still like Kal-Elf. I know the fifth dimensional imp thing didn't land with you in the last issue, but I liked him coming back and being a little bit silly. So yeah.
All right, what are you rating Kryptonite Spectrum?
I'm gonna give this a straight 7.
I'm gonna go 6.5.